Have you ever felt older than everyone around you? Not physically, but emotionally. While others laugh at things that feel shallow to you, you sit quietly, watching, thinking. While people chase attention, you search for meaning. Maybe you were the child who understood adults too early, the teenager who preferred deep conversations over parties, the friend everyone comes to for advice, even when you are the youngest in the room. If this sounds familiar, you might be an INFJ. Often called the rarest personality type and the Myers-Briggs type indicator. INFJs experience the world in a very unusual way. They feel deeply, they observe quietly, and they carry emotional awareness far beyond their years. Many INFJs describe the same strange feeling, a feeling that their emotional age is decades older than their real age, like they were born with an old soul. But why does this happen? Why do INFJs feel so emotionally mature, even as children? And why can this gift sometimes feel like a burden? In this video, we will explore the reasons why INFJs often feel emotionally older than their age. And if you are an INFJ, you may recognize yourself in every single one. 1. INFJs observe before they speak. Most people react first. They talk quickly. They express opinions instantly. But INFJs are different. They watch. They listen. They absorb everything happening in the room. This quiet observation starts very early in life. Even as children, INFJs often sit quietly in social situations. Not because they are shy, but because they are studying people. They notice facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, unspoken tension between two people, while others are focused on the conversation. INFJs are focused on the emotions underneath the conversation. This habit creates something powerful, deep social awareness. And with awareness comes maturity. Because when you constantly observe human behavior, you begin to understand things that most people overlook. You see manipulation. You see insecurity. You see hidden pain. Over time, this awareness makes INFJs feel emotionally older than their peers. Not because they want to be, but because they simply see more. 2. INFJs feel emotions very deeply. One of the most well-known INFJ personality traits is deep empathy. INFJs do not just notice emotions. They feel them strongly. When someone around them is hurting, INFJs often feel that pain inside themselves. It is almost like emotional absorption. This is why INFJs are often described as highly sensitive personalities. But sensitivity is not weakness. It is emotional intelligence. INFJs can walk into a room and instantly sense the emotional atmosphere. They feel tension before anyone says a word. They feel sadness hidden behind a smile. They feel exhaustion in someone who says, "I'm fine." This emotional depth makes INFJs grow up quickly. Because when you constantly experience the emotional reality of others, your inner world becomes very mature. While other people are learning basic emotional skills, INFJs are already navigating complex emotional landscapes. And this can create the strange feeling of being emotionally older than everyone else. 3. INFJs think about life's big questions early. Most children focus on simple things: games, toys, fun. But many INFJs remember something different about their childhood. They were thinkers, deep thinkers. They asked questions like, why do people hurt each other? What is the meaning of life? Why do some people feel lonely even when they are surrounded by others? These are philosophical questions. Questions many people do not seriously consider until adulthood. But INFJs often start thinking about them very early. This happens because of their dominant cognitive function, introverted intuition. Introverted intuition constantly searches for patterns and meaning. It pushes INFJs to look beyond the surface, beyond everyday events, beyond small talk. They want to understand the deeper story behind everything. Because of this, INFJs often feel disconnected from people their own age. Not out of arrogance, but because their mind naturally moves toward deeper topics. They want meaningful conversations, purpose, understanding, and this search for meaning makes them feel emotionally older. 4. INFJs understand human pain early. Many INFJs experience something unusual growing up. They become the listener, the quiet therapist, the emotional support. Friends open up to them. Family members confide in them. Sometimes even adults share their struggles with young INFJs. Why does this happen? Because people sense something in INFJs. Safety, understanding, non-judgment. INFJs listen carefully. They validate emotions. They make people feel seen. But there is a hidden cost to this role. When you hear people's struggles again and again, you begin to understand human suffering very deeply. INFJs learn about heartbreak, loneliness, family conflict, depression, insecurities, often long before they are emotionally ready for this knowledge. This early exposure to emotional pain can accelerate emotional maturity. INFJs start understanding life's difficult realities earlier than others. And this contributes to that familiar feeling, the feeling of being emotionally older than your age. But this is only the beginning. There are many more reasons why INFJs carry this old soul energy, and some of them might surprise you. In the next part of this video, we will explore more hidden INFJ traits that make them feel emotionally older, including one reason that many INFJs struggle with in silence. If you've ever felt like you don't quite fit into your generation, keep watching. You might finally understand why. 5. INFJs can see through people quickly. Many INFJs notice something early in life. They can read people, not in a magical way, but in a deeply intuitive way. The INFJ personality type is known for strong intuition. In MBTI psychology, this comes from a function called introverted intuition. It constantly searches for patterns in human behavior, small clues, tiny inconsistencies, subtle emotional shifts. While others take words at face value, INFJs look at what is behind the words. They notice when someone smiles but their eyes look tired. They notice when someone compliments others but secretly feels insecure. They notice when someone pretends to be confident but carries deep fear. Because of this, INFJs often understand people faster than expected, sometimes within minutes. This ability creates emotional maturity. Because INFJs learn early that human behavior is complex. People say one thing, but feel another. People appear strong, but hide deep wounds. Understanding these contradictions can make INFJs feel much older emotionally, while others are still discovering basic social dynamics. INFJs already see the deeper layers. 6. INFJs spend a lot of time reflecting. Many personality types process life through action. They do something, then move on. But INFJs are different. They process life through reflection. They replay conversations. They think about past experiences. They analyze emotions. They look for meaning in everything that happens. This reflective nature creates strong self-awareness. And self-awareness is one of the foundations of emotional intelligence. INFJs often ask themselves questions like, why did that situation affect me so much? Why did that person react that way? What lesson can I learn from this experience? This constant reflection slowly shapes emotional maturity. While others forget experiences quickly, INFJs study them. They extract meaning. They grow from them. Over time, this habit creates an inner wisdom that can feel much older than their physical age. 7. INFJs value depth over popularity. Many people spend their younger years chasing approval, popularity, status, validation. But INFJs often feel disconnected from this race. They are not naturally drawn to superficial social competition. Instead, INFJs search for something deeper: authenticity, meaningful relationships, purpose. They prefer one deep conversation over 10 casual interactions. They prefer one genuine friend over a large social circle. Because of this, INFJs sometimes feel out of place during school years. When many people are focused on fitting in, INFJs are focused on understanding life. This difference can make INFJs appear serious or mature compared to their peers. But it is simply their natural preference. The INFJ personality values depth. And depth often comes with emotional maturity. 8. INFJs feel responsible for other people's emotions. One of the strongest INFJ traits is empathy. But sometimes this empathy becomes responsibility. INFJs often feel responsible for how others feel. If someone is sad, INFJs want to help. If someone feels misunderstood, INFJs want to comfort them. If someone feels lost, INFJs want to guide them. This creates a natural role. The helper, the counselor, the emotional supporter. But carrying this role can be heavy, because INFJs sometimes forget to care for their own emotions. They become the emotional support system for everyone else. When someone constantly cares for others, they develop emotional maturity very quickly, but they may also feel emotionally exhausted. This is why many INFJs say they felt like the therapist friend from a young age. And that responsibility can make them feel far older than their years. 9. INFJs are highly aware of life's impermanence. One subtle but powerful INFJ characteristic is awareness of time. INFJs often think about life in long timelines. They imagine the future. They think about purpose. They reflect on how temporary many things are. This awareness sometimes appears surprisingly early, while others are focused only on the present moment. INFJs are already thinking about life direction, meaning, legacy, contribution. This perspective can create emotional wisdom, but it can also make life feel heavier. INFJs may notice how quickly relationships change, how people grow apart, how moments disappear. Because of this awareness, INFJs often appreciate meaningful experiences more deeply, but it also contributes to that familiar feeling, the feeling of being an old soul, as if they are watching life from a slightly higher perspective. And this emotional awareness continues to shape their personality as they grow older. 10. INFJs often experience loneliness early. Many INFJs remember feeling different when they were young. Not dramatically different, but quietly different. They often felt like observers in their own generation. While others enjoyed loud social environments, INFJs sometimes preferred quiet spaces. INFJs wanted something deeper. This difference can create early loneliness. Not because INFJs dislike people, but because meaningful connection can be harder to find. The INFJ personality type searches for authenticity. They want conversations about dreams, fears, purpose, personal growth. But during childhood and teenage years, many people are not ready for those conversations yet. So INFJs often spend time alone, reading, thinking, writing, reflecting. At first, this loneliness can feel painful, but over time, it shapes something powerful: inner independence. INFJs learn how to be comfortable with their own thoughts. They develop a rich inner world, and that inner world often feels much older than their age. 11. INFJs learn from emotional patterns. INFJs rarely see events as isolated moments. They look for patterns, especially emotional patterns. If someone repeatedly hurts others, INFJs notice. If someone constantly hides insecurity behind humor, INFJs notice. If someone slowly grows into a better person, INFJs notice that too. This pattern recognition is part of the INFJ cognitive system. Introverted intuition constantly connects experiences together. It turns observations into insight. Over time, INFJs begin to predict emotional outcomes. They may sense when a relationship will fail. They may sense when someone is about to burn out. They may sense when someone is pretending to be okay. This awareness can feel strange, because INFJs sometimes see emotional truths before others are ready to accept them. But recognizing emotional patterns builds wisdom. And wisdom is one of the strongest reasons INFJs feel emotionally older than their peers. 12. INFJs think long-term about people. Many people judge relationships in the present moment. They ask simple questions. Is this person fun? Do we get along right now? But INFJs often think much further ahead. They ask deeper questions. Who will this person become? Are our values aligned? Will this relationship grow in a healthy direction? Because INFJs think long-term, they sometimes approach relationships with unusual seriousness. They do not enjoy temporary connections that feel meaningless. They invest emotionally, carefully, thoughtfully. This approach can make INFJs appear mature compared to others their age. While some people are exploring relationships casually, INFJs are searching for emotional depth and long-term harmony. This long-term perspective contributes to that old soul feeling many INFJs describe. 13. INFJs constantly seek personal growth. Another defining INFJ trait is the desire for growth. INFJs are rarely satisfied with staying the same. They want to evolve. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually. They ask themselves difficult questions. Am I living according to my values? Am I becoming the person I want to be? How can I improve my understanding of people? This mindset leads INFJs towards self-development early in life. Many INFJs read psychology books, study personality systems like the Myers-Briggs personality types, explore philosophy, reflect deeply on their behavior and emotions. This journey creates emotional depth, and emotional depth creates maturity. While some people avoid self-examination, INFJs actively seek it. They want to understand themselves, and they want to become better humans. That pursuit naturally accelerates emotional growth. 14. INFJs carry a strong sense of purpose. Perhaps the deepest reason INFJs feel emotionally older than their age is purpose. INFJs rarely feel comfortable living without meaning. They want their life to matter. Not in a loud or public way, but in a meaningful way. They want to help people, guide others, create something that improves the world. This sense of purpose can appear early, even before INFJs fully understand what their purpose looks like. They feel pulled towards something larger than everyday life, something meaningful, something lasting. Because of this, INFJs often think about impact, contribution, legacy. These are thoughts many people begin exploring later in adulthood. But for INFJs, they often start much earlier. And that deeper perspective makes them feel emotionally older. If you are an INFJ, you may have felt this your entire life. The quiet feeling that your emotional age is older than your physical age. You may have been the thoughtful child, the reflective teenager, the friend everyone turns to for advice. Sometimes this experience can feel isolating, like you are slightly out of sync with the world around you. But it is also a rare strength. The INFJ personality type carries powerful emotional intelligence, deep empathy, strong intuition, and a natural ability to understand human complexity. These traits allow INFJs to see the world in ways many people do not. They notice emotional patterns. They search for meaning. They care deeply about people. And they often grow into individuals who bring wisdom, guidance, and understanding to others. Feeling emotionally older is not a flaw. It is simply the result of seeing life through a deeper lens. And that depth can become one of the greatest strengths an INFJ can offer the world. So if you've ever felt like an old soul, you're not alone. There are many INFJs out there who feel the same quiet maturity, the same emotional awareness, the same desire for meaning. And when those individuals finally meet each other, something powerful happens. They feel understood. Maybe for the first time. If you related to these INFJ traits, share your experience in the comments. Many people discover their personality type through conversations like these. And hearing your story might help another INFJ feel a little less alone. And if you enjoy exploring deep psychology topics like INFJ personality traits, emotional intelligence, and human behavior, consider subscribing for more videos like this. Because sometimes, understanding ourselves is the first step toward understanding the world.